Hello server owners, today I want to show you how you add a bunker to your Chernarus map with a simple mod, and I'm going to explain you all the steps that you need to do to ensure you can do so. So first we're going to look around our really mini bunker here. So you of course need the panels to enter the bunker, and then we have an entrance room, and we have a barrack room, and that's the entire bunker. So I just show you a little bit around here, so that's the entrance. So as you see, and there's the barrack room. So really just a very small building it is. So I thought I used that little mod, so just wrote to show you what you need to do as a good example. So we're going through step by step now, and I will explain you for the single script what you need to do. You can find the JSON code for the bunker in the comment fields below of that video, so feel free to copy it. So that is the JSON code, which is our entire bunker, and as you can see, it now has the underground elements in it. So we will need to go next and add them. You will find the JSON code as said in the comment section. Now this code is just 69 lines long, so it's really a very small bunker, as it's an example bunker. But if you just add it in exactly the way I show you, you will have exactly the same bunker on the same position. So in the school in Journal. So we are going to start with picking the needed bunker files, and to do so I explain you now how you do it. So if you do not have already the Enoch or Livonia data on your servers, then you possibly need to pick them first. To do so, you simply go to the main section and you choose as a server Livonia Enoch, and then you restart your server. While you restart, BI now automatically will add you the Livonia main file, so you have all the files for the Livonia map as well on your server. Now afterwards, of course, go back to Chernarus, because that's where you want to build the bunker. And then if you look into your data, you find now a file called DayZ Chernarus. If you open the file, you have the bunker data. And you have all the Livonia data, but also the bunker data. So we now need to download the relevant parts, which is the group rota. So the group rota shows you or tells the buildings how they look and where to add the ankles and so on. So you're entering the Livonia group rota, and there you copy every element which has the word underground in it out of the file. So you possibly open it with your editor so you can read it, and then you copy the underground elements out. All the other elements are already on your Chernarus data, but the underground not, because BI decided to put the bunker just to Livonia. So you need to add them and copy and paste it over. So after you took it from the Livonia file, you're going to change back to the Chernarus files, so going back to mission and clicking on Chernarus. Because after you added the elements from Livonia to the Chernarus group rota, you now need to replace the previous group rota. So you're going to rename it by simply adding a plus symbol to it, for example. You can delete it as well, but I recommend to rename it so you have it available if something goes wrong. And then you go to upload your previously saved new Chernarus group rota with the bunker elements. So next we're going to create the JSON script for the bunker itself. So you open the custom folders, that's where you can open or create scripts. Then you name a script. It doesn't matter how you name it, it just needs to end with JSON at the end, so the program knows what to do with it. And so you're going to form your bunker folder or file or any mod file in here. And after you created it, you're going to add the JSON code that you can find in the comments as well to that list. So you go into the script and it will be blank, and then you copy actually the code into it. I prepared that already, so you see here's our 69 lines of JSON code for the bunker. Now after we created that file, we need to ensure that the system is also picking it, and therefore we need to change the script and go into the gameplay JSON and you will find there be next to the stamina settings or the building plus settings or the weather settings line which is called object spawn R, and there you're going to add your JSON folder from the custom area by just typing in this line here. So you need to add the custom word as well as the slashes. Behind that you add your script name, how you named your bunker or mod script, and then the system will know what it should take. So what you then next will need to do is to activate the group positions or to add them, because also here the group position for the bunker elements are only deployed in the Livonia files. So you need to open or download the map group position from the Livonia folder again, and when you are in, you're going to look for the underground elements. Now you need an entrance element because we placed an entrance, and so you're going to search in the script for the land underground entrance. So I'm searching for it here, and I then will, after I find it, yes, there it is, copy the entire line out of it and take it over again to my Chernarus files, where I then need to open the Chernarus map group position folder and add that bunker element to it, so that the game knows where to put the loot and where exactly that bunker element sits on the map. So you're going to download the position again, open it with your editor, and then you're just going, that takes a moment, and after it opened you're just adding the line to the top of your script. And then of course after you did so, you need to ensure that you add your x and your epsilon coordinate. So x is the first value, the second value is the height of your building, the third value is the epsilon or set axis, and you're going to type in here exactly your bunker entrance infos. The field here is the epsilon PR field, which is going to tell you in which direction your building looks like, or is it facing north, and you don't change the last value. And then you save, of course, the entire list again, rename then in the Chernarus data, not in the Livonia data, your map group position again, and then you're going to rename, so you rename the old folder so you have it in spare, and then you're going to upload your new map group position script to that Chernarus file, so that the Chernarus data now is aware about the bunker element from the loot grid. After you did that, we're going to go to the next step. Now, as I just added the bunker to Livonia, you now need to add the bunker card to be able to enter the bunker or let your players enter the bunker. Therefore, you open the types field and you're just going to add that element into it. So I already prepared that as well. You're going to write down a punched card into that file. Now, as you see, currently it spawns into a contaminated area. So we can change that easily and say it should spawn in military, for example. And you see it spawns with a nomination of 5 and a minimum of 3 punched cards in the map. Now, if you don't want to do that and instead stick it to an infected, I will show you how that works. You're going to zero out the nomination and the mini value, so it will not be spawned anymore. And then we need to change the script and go to the spawnable types, which explains the game where to attach things. And there you choose any infected of your choice. And I take here the NBC Gray, for example. And then you're going to add the punched card into it, so it will now be attached to such an infected with a 0.03 percentage. So it's rare, but sometimes they carry one of these punched cards, and that's how your players then can get it. So that's a different way to add the punch card to your scripts. So we're next adding some infected to the bunker itself. That's actually optional. You don't need to do it. You can just add the bunker the way I showed without that step. But if you want, you enter the involved data, go into the zombie territories, and they will realize that they are all splitted by territories. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add some army zombies to our bunker. So I'm going just to copy out one of the lines of the infected horde. So that's all small. If you want hordes which stand around at the cities or at a village or at a military camp. So I'm going to copy out one of the lines and add it just to the end of the list. Doesn't actually matter where detailed you add it, it just has to sit in one of the territory blocks. And then I'm of course need to add the coordinates where I want to spawn them. So that's the middle of my school or in the bunker. And so I copy them out from my set. So that's how I normally do it, because I never use the editor. I'll write it directly in the scripts. But maybe you have a different way to do so. So you need the coordinates and then you add them to your X and Z value. And I need to see how big the radius should be. So that's why I looked on my set. Choosing 35 will be good to keep them all in the bunker or nearby. And then I add my coordinates. So now we will have 7 to 10 dynamic army zombies being in the bunker. Now if people are, and I make it hard, that's I think better for bunker. So if the players now run into this area, you normally have the effect that the infected spawn in later. Now if you want to have always infected around such a building, even if there's no player around, then you just can go on the static values instead of the dynamic values and split your infected a little bit. So as you see, we currently had here, let me see, 7 dynamic minimum and a maximum of 10. And we're going to take some static now. So 3 static should minimal spawn in or stand there already. And we reduce therefore the dynamic from 6 to 8. So there always will be now 3 infected at least. And as soon as the player arrives, additional infecteds between 6 and 8 will spawn in. So that's how you're going to set the infected. And by the way, it's exactly the same with animals. So yeah. We then next need to add the loot into the type. So means as the Livonia map only has the underground section so far, we need to add to some of our loot that we want to be found in the bunkers now the correct usage name, which is the underground. And therefore you're going to implement such an underground field to your script to all the loot that you want to be in the bunker. Now this is hunting and underground, so the GPS receiver, for example, will spawn in bunkers and in hunting areas. If I instead only choose underground, then I only will have that loot in the bunker, so it will not be somewhere else on the map, or it should not be. That's actually how the loot system normally passes the loot on. So Blade Carrier PowerShells Black, for example, will only sit in the underground section. So any loot you want to have in the bunker, you will need to add with the usage name underground so that it can show up there. And then you look for your nominal and your minimum that you don't overload it, because otherwise there will be a lot of loot in the bunker, depending on how many underground sections you have. So that's it. Actually, these bunker elements here that we used are very solid, so you cannot run into them or look from outside into it. This is not for all bunker elements correct, because the corners, for example, or other things will need to be built incorrectly, so you will need to have something next to it that avoids players running into it. But this one here, the barracks or the big storage rooms, as well as the entrance, is solid, so you cannot go into it without the door, or you cannot look into it better. And as you see, also the roof is solid, and therefore you can use that elements without any of the connectors, so similar to just that. As said, if you want to use other elements, feel free to do so, but be aware that you need to check how the outside of the element is and if players will fall through or run into it. Okay, have fun and enjoy the little ad. Bye.